Hi everybody, welcome to Brailsford Family Homestead. I'm Darcy. Today we're going to be canning a whole lot of chicken. My favorite method for this is found from the National Center for Home Food Preservation. This is the only canning project that I do that does not require hot jars. So when we recently butchered chickens, and so often when we're cutting them up, I can just be loading the jars as we go. I haven't done that this time because I wanted to share this with you. So we're going to be using wide mouth quarts to can drums, and then also just regular quarts and probably some pints to can boneless thighs. So the directions are so easy. So with bones, you're going to can for 75 minutes for quarts, 65 minutes for pints. Without bones, it's 90 minutes for quarts and 75 minutes for pints. And you just put the meat in there, no liquid, in the canner it goes. So easy. So get all of my things together and show you how I do this. Since nothing needs to be hot, I don't have to worry about what's called staging, where you would fill multiple jars, then put the lids on in the canner, which is, for safe practices, a no-no. You're supposed to do one at a time. But for this, we're gonna pack them all. That will also help me keep things a little bit cleaner instead of touching all the meat, then grabbing the lids and rings. So we'll fill the jars and then we'll wipe the rims, put the lids on and all of that. I have got 2 canners back here. That's how much I plan to do of our drums, and I will freeze anything that's left over after that. And I might get a 3rd canner outside on my camp stove that's rated for canning to start on the thighs. We'll see about that, but let's get started with the drums. Oh, and this is what it looks like. This is from a previous year. It looks kind of like a science experiment. I understand that this isn't like the jars that you put in the front for everybody to see. It looks kind of gross, but it tastes good. And this is one way that we utilize our drums the most, because it's not our favorite cut of meat, but I love this to take out and make like enchiladas or a type of stew or soup or something like that. So this is one way, and it saves me some freezer space since we don't really like the drums anyway. So let's get started. You might have to play around a little bit with this portion depending on the size of your drums. Sometimes I can fit 4, sometimes only 3, but I like to alternate them. So the fat side down on one, and then the fat side up on another. Those are really big, so I'm probably only gonna fit 3. And I might need to put this one in first. Let's see. There we go. So 3 in that, and I will just keep filling these until we're all done. Go ahead and clean the rim on all of these and get some lids on them. I don't have quite enough to do another canner load of these right now. We're still working on a few more chickens, so I will do another load. I am using 4-jar lids and rings today. If you want to give these a try, you can go to their website and use BFH10 for 10% off of your order. All right, let's get these in the canner. I've already got the recommended amount of water in my canner, with a little bit of vinegar to help with any hard water stains. So these are raw with bones. So these are going to process for 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure for my elevation. Please Google your elevation to know for sure so you know what pressure that you need to use. Once I get these all in here, we will put the lid on, turn the heat on, and let it vent steam for 10 minutes before putting the weight on, letting the pressure build, and then processing them. It may take a little longer if you've pressure canned before to get it to start steaming because these are not hot, the water's not hot, jars are not hot, so it'll take a little bit longer, but it's gonna be worth it. Gonna get my lid on. Every canner I have has some arrows to line up. This is a Miro canner. I also have this Presto, and I have another Miro that is much older than this, but it still works. Since I don't have enough drums at this moment to do another canner load, I'm gonna go ahead and get the thighs started. I am gonna do quarts. I will do some with pints as well, just because of the things that we like to use it in. My daughter absolutely loves buffalo chicken dip, so any of these, the thighs or the drums, are great for that if you like it too. So I already cut up the thighs as we were piecing out the chickens. So they are cut in like 4s or so, depending on the size, so that will be a uniform size to put into the jars. I'll show you. It's like this. The directions don't say that it has to be a certain size, just similar in size. So this is what we got. We are to leave a 1 1/4 inch head space for these. And again, no water or anything. You can add salt, but it is optional. So I am not adding it so that I can just season it when I'm ready. Something I did off camera, but I meant to show you, was to check all of my jars before I got started. So jars can break, crack, chip, and so you really need to check them over before you get started. So sometimes it's hard to see, and honestly, sometimes the line where the mold is can mold, like from making the jar, can seem like a crack. So sometimes you have to really feel on there and just get familiar with that brand of jar. But you need to check it all over for cracks and chips. And then on the lip too, the easiest way for me is to run my finger around there to make sure I'm not missing any small things, because especially in the pressure canner, if there's a crack or something like that, you're going to lose that jar of food and it's wasted. But in water bath canning too. So check all of your jars before you get started. Okay, once again, I'm going to clean all of these off with a paper towel with some vinegar on it. Make sure I get any of those little pieces of meat off of there. We want to make sure we get a good seal. All right, let's add our lids. These are the regular mouth 4-jar lids. Same Same situation with these. It is just room temperature water in the canner, room temperature jars with the meat put inside. And so we will put them in our canner. I do have a little bit of vinegar in there again to keep from hard water stains. These do not have bones, so they will process for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure for my elevation. This one here is warming up, but it's still not steaming yet. It is going to take some time. I'll go get the lid for this canner. This canner is venting steam. I've started the timer for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, we'll put the weight on. The safest way I have found to check to see if it's steaming is just simply use a metal cooking spoon. You don't have to touch the canner, you don't have to touch the steam, and you know for sure it's coming out. This canner is ready for the weight. Once that builds pressure, we'll set the timer, and this one will process for 75 minutes. I will set a timer for that. And I think we'll check this one to see if it is venting steam yet. It is, so we'll set a timer for 10 minutes for that one, and then we'll add that weight. I just started the timer for 75 minutes for this canner. Neither one makes a lot of noise. Some canners do when they start rocking, but it's rocking, and if you can see, I'll show you closer up. The Presto is now rocking as well, so I'll set a timer for that one for 90 minutes. You see the Miro canner rocking and the Presto. I will turn the heat down a little bit so it's not rocking so fast. The time is up for our first canner. I'm going to take it off the heat and put it on one of these trivets. We still have some more time for the other canner, and I will do the same thing and let them sit on the counter and let the pressure naturally release before I start the process of opening them up, which I will show you. Both of these canners have fully released the pressure, so now we need to slowly open the lid so we can remove the jars. And the reason we don't just open everything up after the pressure has released is it helps reduce siphoning and sudden temperature fluctuations that could cause some thermal shock and things like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the weight. And then I'm not going to do anything else right away. Then after a few minutes, I will twist the lid to unlock it and just open it just a teeny bit. Let that sit there for a few minutes. Then take the lid off, let that sit, and then remove the jars. So I will make you watch all of those. Once it's time to pull the jars out, I'll bring you back so you can see what they look like. It's time to take the jars out of the canner. Here are the thighs. And this is the drums. I'm going to show you another one of the drums. Let me see which one's the lowest in here. So you see how the liquid is down here. That is okay. That's normal. We didn't add any liquid, if you will remember. So the liquid is just from the chicken itself. So there should be at least liquid about halfway up, but it could be more. That's all okay. So I'm going to leave these sit for 12 to 24 hours. I have a cutting board here that they will be just sitting there without being bothered. And then after that time, we'll take the ring off and we will test the seal. And the way to test that is if you push in the middle and there's no movement, there's like a button there, and you'll know if you can make it pop or not, then it is sealed. But you can also give it a little tug and know that it is sealed. After that, wash it off good with some soap and water and label it so you and other people know what is inside with the date. And then you put it on your pantry shelves to enjoy throughout the year. I hope this has been helpful and that you guys will try canning chicken yourselves. Until next time, God bless.